In the last video, I talked about why it is important for us to acquire financially and societally beneficial skills. In this video, I will be diving into why, as a community, we need to acquire knowledge of the systems that govern our lives. So let's take complex systems around us, such as the legal, economic, and social systems. When you grasp how they truly work, you stop being a passenger, passively subjected to their whims. Instead, you gain the power to intentionally shift them to make them serve your needs. Now, before I continue, I want to at least acknowledge that the Black community possesses an intimate, often painful understanding of these very systems. We experience their negative aspects disproportionately. We feel the direct impact of over-policing, the barriers in banking and credit, the discriminatory hiring practices, and the prejudice faced simply by traveling as a Black person internationally. We know these mechanisms because they actively hold us back. However, this deep knowledge, while undeniable, often stems from a reactive stance. It's about what's happening to us rather than how and why it is happening. Our energy then frequently funnels into appealing to those in power, hoping for empathetic modifications. And truthfully, this approach is often insufficient. This is because real agency isn't just recognizing the system's traps, it's understanding how to navigate and even dismantle them from within. Because without genuine leverage, those in power have little incentive to act on our pleas. You're left appealing to emotions that don't align with their self-interest. And that's simply not an ideal strategy for sustainable change. My core argument then, for a deeper dive into systemic knowledge, is this. It allows us to anticipate and avoid the system's pitfalls. It helps us persist long enough to identify its inherent weaknesses, thereby enabling us to incrementally influence it in our favor. Think of it like this. Once you truly understand the rules of the game, you can start playing it more effectively. So, why isn't this knowledge more widespread, and how do we acquire it? I believe there are two main reasons. First of all, we often navigate these systemic traps as individuals. We fail to share our diverse experiences and insights in a coordinated manner. This absence of collective strategy leaves us without blueprints or safety nets. When someone makes a breakthrough, that crucial information often isn't effectively disseminated, leading others to repeat the same errors. So while the knowledge exists within our communities, it's not consistently passed on, or perhaps not fully absorbed. And the other reason why we don't have this knowledge is because we understand what these systems do, but not always how or why they operate. This critical gap exists because we're largely excluded from the very rooms where these systems are designed. We see the final decisions but lack insight into the mindsets, incentives, and discussions that shape them. We are, in essence, outside observers of the game. To bridge this gap, we must actively cultivate a culture of knowledge, sharing within our communities. This means moving beyond individual survival tactics and collectively developing coordinated plans of action to circumvent the traps. This sharing needs to become a cultural norm. If knowledge isn't gained at home, it should be accessible through friends, community networks, or local organizations as crucial intervention points. We must adopt a mindset of free information exchange, recognizing that when one of us prospers, all of us prosper. Because at an individual level, once we understand the systems well enough to avoid their traps, we can build our financial standing and acquire assets. This naturally leads to increased leverage, opening doors to influential discussions and decision-making tables. On a community level, we must organize ourselves more effectively to protect against external exploitation and internal betrayal. This necessitates forging strong, resilient ties and establishing robust accountability systems. As each person gains leverage, we can pool our resources, creating a collective shield. This collective power ensures our voices are heard, because our self-sufficiency reduces our dependence on external validation. Some might suggest we simply overthrow and redesign existing systems. While I'm not entirely against that idea, it begs a crucial question. If we dismantle a system that, however imperfectly, currently allows for our survival, without fully understanding its mechanisms, what guarantees do we have that we can build a superior alternative? Understanding the existing system is a prerequisite to envisioning and building a truly better one. This is my perspective. I invite your ideas. With enough support, I want to start building committees to continue these discussions and eventually lead to lasting change.